you said, then it comes down to, okay, we're going to win or lose the game on this one play.
On first down, a toss. That's Davenport running right. Runs into Anthony McFarland. And a gain of only 1. As we approach the top of the hour, these two teams came into this game at 4-5. Brett Favre came into the game still suffering with that fracture in his throwing hand thumb. He has been good enough, and again for the Green Bay Packers, as the Bucs will spend one of their 2 remaining timeouts. Brett Favre, with that tremendous running game and that very good offensive line, just engineered a 17-play, 98-yard drive with a game tied. 98 yards to go, up by 7 points. And now the Buccaneer defense is on the field again looking for a stop, and this could be it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right here.
You know what's interesting? We're talking about the possibility of Brett Favre not playing. What's he played now? 183 straight starts. And you know, I just wondered, Joe, you know a lot about baseball, how you would put that streak in comparison to Cal Ripken's streak. From my standpoint, I don't think we'll ever see a quarterback play 183 straight, or 200 straight if you count his playoff games. It's just unbelievable.
It started on September 27th, 1992. It runs through today as he plays with that fracture in his thumb. On second down, it's Najee Davenport still fighting through tacklers, and Davenport forces his way forward for a first down.
And first down really pretty much ices this game. They should be calling timeout now before the 2-minute warning. But you know they're going to run the football. Brett Favre has not yet passed the ball since he re-injured the thumb, and they can't do anything about it defensively for Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay has to spend their final timeout, and a couple of things may end here in the next 2:09. The winless streak by Brett Favre and the Packers here at this stadium, Raymond James Stadium, came in 0-5, and the other, the sack streak for this Tampa defense. They have been held without a sack. And the last time that happened was October 3rd at Minnesota, 1999.
And give Chad Clifton a lot of credit over there. Did a great job all day long and get Simeon Rice with no help.
We would like to welcome a new audience that joined us, and with 2:09 remaining here, just to recap, two teams that were two of the favorites coming into the season come into this game, each a game under 500. The Packers are alive in their division. The Buccaneers only had hopes in the wild card chase, and they're certainly not 100% gone if they lose here.
71 eligible.
But with this tremendous ground game by the Green Bay Packers, they are 2 minutes 9 seconds away from a huge win here in Tampa, Florida. Davenport is brought down in the backfield by Dwight Smith. And we are officially at the 2-minute warning. It'll be second down for the Green Bay Packers. And Brett Favre when we come back. Thumbs up. Fractured thumb at all for the Pack. The Green Bay Packers in run out the clock mode. 2 minutes left. Tampa Bay no timeouts remaining. Second down for the Packers, up by 7. Fisher running left. Fisher will do his best and stay in bounds so the clock continues to run. And we look at the day in pictures. Day that started with a lot of hope for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 5-0 in this stadium against the Green Bay Packers, but it looks like it's not to be here today. And the story against this Buccaneer defense, outside of these late fourth quarter and overtime collapses, has been trying to stop the power running game by the opposition, and they fall victim to it again here today.
Over 185 yards rushing today by the Green Bay offense. This offensive line has done a phenomenal job all day.
This is Fisher running right. That will bring up fourth down, and if we have the opportunity, you see that score in the top right-hand corner of your screen, 21-18 Oakland. We will switch our audience to the end of that game if we have the opportunity here as bonus coverage. Right now it is fourth down, and instead of even toying with a long field goal try and ice it, with the clock winding down, and now they will try the field goal.
Perhaps.
If they miss it, Tampa Bay will end up with decent field position. And instead, the little pooch punt. So no real surprise there, and ends up in the end zone. And that was off the foot of Ryan Longwell, the place kicker. But with 25 seconds left, the Green Bay Packers will take their chances. That with no timeouts remaining, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which offensively they've struggled most of this game anyway, can't get it down the field and into the end zone. Tonight on Fox, when Lisa runs for class president, Homer wants to run the dirtiest campaign ever. It's an all-new Simpsons, part of a full hour. Then Reese finds a secret diary on a new Malcolm, followed by Ron Howard's Arrested Development. It all starts with a new King of the Hill tonight on Fox.
I'm not so sure, with only gaining 10 yards in field position by punting it in the end zone, that I wouldn't have just given the ball to Najee Davenport and take my chances. See if maybe he could pick up the first down.
Johnson to the sideline, and the pass is caught by McCardell, and he hops out of bounds up to the 49-yard line with 17 seconds remaining.
Well, here we go, because now they're going to at least have a shot at a Hail Mary in the end zone. Big miss right here by Harris. Doesn't matter so much if you make the play, but you've got to get him on the ground with the clock stopped, or with the clock running. They had no timeouts. It's a huge play. It's really a dumb play on his part. He didn't need to try and make that play. Allowed him to make the catch, get upfield, and get out of bounds. The worst of all worlds.
The ball at the 49-yard line. No timeouts remaining for the Bucs, down by 7. Down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. Jurevicius, the intended receiver, and had that ball been caught, there would have been no way for the Buccaneers to get downfield and spike it.
It would have been tight, and Green Bay really took a chance there. They brought the blitz, but Tampa Bay was ready for it. They blocked it all up, so you've got individual matchups down the field, and they weren't able to capitalize on it.
Joe, I'm with you on that one. What purpose does that play have? I believe that's game over if they complete it, and you're already in position to take your shot at the Hail Mary.
Now it's second down from the 49-yard line. Johnson heaves it. No one for Tampa Bay is there. And it is picked off by the Green Bay Packers' Darren Sharper. That's the way this game comes to a close. The Green Bay Packers get the victory, 20-13. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' playoff hopes may have just been dashed today, as Brett Favre tries to fight back that smile, coming away with his first win ever in this stadium.
And you know they did it in Green Bay Packer fashion. Took them right down the field, 98 yards, and just bludgeoned them.
This is Joe Buck for Troy Aikman, Chris Collinsworth, and Pam Oliver. So long from Tampa. Right now, bonus coverage, Vikings and Raiders. Let's join Sam Rosen and Bill Moss for the conclusion of that game.
Welcome those of you who are watching the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Sam Rosen, Bill Moss, Chris Myers in Oakland, where the Raiders have led all the way. The Vikings have closed to within 3 points, but there's a challenge underway here as Dante Culpepper threw a pass that was apparently picked off by Rod Woodson with a diving effort. Bill Levy, the referee, has the decision.
After reviewing the play, there was no shot that showed the ball on the ground. Therefore, it is an interception. First down Raiders. Minnesota is charged their first timeout.
And that's the whole thing. There's not enough visual evidence from any angle that we have on replay that would overrule the ruling on the field. The ruling on the field was an interception. From all the angles shown, you can't really tell if the ball hit the ground or not, so the ruling stands.
That is 6 turnovers in the game for the Minnesota Vikings, who had 9 all season coming into play. 3 interceptions thrown by Dante Culpepper. He had 3 all season long. Rod Woodson with his 2nd of the season. Tyrone Wheatley, who's rushed for over 100 yards, goes down to the 6-yard line. The story of the game, the Minnesota Vikings have killed themselves with turnovers.
That's the second play of the
Opening series, Philip Buchanan returned the interception for a touchdown. This was a fumble recovery. This was a fumble by Culpepper that was turned into a touchdown one play later. Buchanan intercepting in the end zone. Culpepper fumbled on his own. He fell to the ground and fumbled the ball.
In the red zone.
And here the interception by Rod Woodson. 3 fumbles lost for Minnesota. 3 interceptions thrown by Dante Culpepper.
And there's no way in the NFL that you can survive losing that many turnovers. And I don't care where you're playing. But on the road, forget about it. They're very fortunate that they're in this game at all.
See, the numbers, they tell the story as far as the costly turnovers. If you're +3 or better, it gives you a huge chance to win. If you're below the even mark, you're losing. The handoff by Rick Meyer to Tyrone Wheatley. He's knocked down by Henri Crockett. JB has got an update for us. Let's join him now.
Big day for Edgerrin James. 3 rushing touchdowns. Here's the third, 127 yards on the ground. Tony Dungy becomes the first coach to beat all 32 teams. Indianapolis victorious over the Jets. Back to Sam Rosen.
Indianapolis at 8-2 remains tied with Tennessee at 8-2 in the AFC South. The Vikings have used their last timeout. There'll be a 3rd down coming up for Oakland. The Raiders are trying to break a 5-game losing streak. They've lost 4 of those 5 games by 7 points or fewer. They're going with Rick Meyer for the rest of the season as their #1 quarterback. Rob Johnson is the backup. He was signed last week. Rich Gannon is standing right there, the NFL MVP last year. He had shoulder surgery a couple of days ago, and he's done for the season, as is the previous #2, Marcus Tuiasosopo.
And for the Raiders today, the story has been the offensive line and the running backs. I mean, they've just hammered the ball for a total of 185 yards on the ground. Rick Meyer, only a few passes given, but it's been pretty precise on all those passes.
They have to get to the 1 for 1st down. Meyer in pressure. Runs, crosses the line of scrimmage, dives. Whoa, he went up in the air and was flipped by Ken Irvin.
Where's the spot going to be?
A yard short of the 1st down. Wow. That's a gutsy move.
Yeah, you know what that reminded me of? Remember that highlight you've seen of John Elway when he gets up in the air and spun around like a helicopter? That's you know what I'm talking about?
Guess what? He'll be on the highlights tonight.
This guy could be the next quarterback reclamation project, a guy that's persevered ups and downs in the league, and that's what I believe takes to play quarterback in this league anymore.
He came down hard on his back. Last time down here, just a couple of minutes ago, the Raiders had the same situation. They had a 4th and 2, and they went for it. Tim Brown dropped a short touchdown wide open in the end zone. Now they're going to put 3 on the board to make it a 6-point game. Janikowski puts it through.
Oh, wait a second. We got a challenge flag that came out. A challenge flag came out on the Raiders sideline before that snap got off.
The challenge by Oakland came out before the snap.
Right.
And it can only be the spot of the ball.
That's exactly right. This will be Bill Callahan's 2nd and final challenge of the game.
Oakland is challenging the spot at the sideline on the 3rd down run.
And you know why he has to do this, Sam? You know, you're thinking, well, they got a field goal out of it. What's the big deal? Because if it's a 1st down inside the 1, you know, their chances are they're going to score a touchdown and seal this game. But being at that spot where it is right there, where's the ball?
Looks about 1.5.
Okay, given that spot short of the 1st down forced them to line up and kick a field goal on 4th down with 2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining. Now, if you get a bad kick or something goes wrong, you have the kickoff return to contend with. You have Randy Moss and that offense to contend with, and you're still under 2 minutes, so the Vikings get an additional timeout, being the 2-minute warning. So it was a wise decision to challenge that spot, just in case, by some slim chance, it was a miss site, and they can get that 1st down mark.
So now awaiting the decision on the spot, but it still looks like it'll come up a little short.
But it was smart. It was very smart. Hey, you know, hey, let's exhaust every possible scenario we possibly can. I mean, he's trying to secure a win here.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The progress was at the 2-yard line. Oakland has charged their 3rd timeout.
So the Raiders are out of timeouts. The Vikings are out of timeouts. Now Sebastian Janikowski will get another chance to kick the field goal. Mike Tice trying to keep his team in it despite all of the mistakes and the turnovers. And now it looks like they will go for it. Okay, they'll do the same thing as last time. They will go for it on 4th down. And last time.
And it's the same mentality they used last time. Hey, if they don't get it, the offense of the Minnesota Vikings has to go 98 yards, and they can't hear, for those crowds are so noisy backed up there in that end zone. I mean, it was ridiculous last time that those guys were trying to get out of the end zone.
Last time Tim Brown, the man you saw on the sideline, was wide open, and the pass went through his hands. Otherwise, the game would have been sewn up. It's amazing with all the turnovers for the Vikings that they're still in this game. There's Tim Brown, who's caught only one pass in the game. So it's 4th and 1 for the Raiders at the 2-yard line. Zach Crockett, touchdown. Zach Crockett's 2nd of the game, his 6th of the season. The Raiders have just about put this one away. And with Green Bay winning in Tampa, the race in the NFC North has now gotten real tight. Janikowski's extra point makes it a 10-point lead for the Oakland Raiders. Zach Crockett takes it in.
Well, this is nothing. Just line up, and they get the block on the linebacker. And it's Zach Crockett pounding his way through. Watch Henderson step up in here and get blocked and knocked down.
That's a pretty good hole there for Zach Crockett.
Well, you know, 2 out of the 3 guys on the defensive side over there did exactly what they were supposed to do. The one didn't, and you saw the result.
You saw Tyrone Wheatley with a hug for his coach. Tyrone Wheatley with 32 carries, 109 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown. The Raiders have rushed for 192 yards in the game, and now the Vikings have given up a 100-yard rushing game to running backs in each of the last 3 games. And the fans in the black hole are celebrating today.
Sam, Minnesota. 261 yards given up to the Green Bay Packers 3 weeks ago. 211 rushing yards given up to San Diego and LaDainian Tomlinson last week. Today, they've given up 192 yards rushing. Yes, there is a big problem in the run defense for Minnesota.
Ontario Smith deep. Janikowski lets it fly. Smith from the 11. Need a big return. Smith gets outside. Janikowski slips by. And Smith stepped out of bounds. A great return. For those of you who just joined us, here are the scores. Buchanan with the interception early in the game, 64-yard return for a touchdown. Zach Crockett, a 1-yard run as he battled and fought his way for that 1 yard after a turnover. Tyrone Wheatley spinning his way in for a touchdown. Dante Culpepper on the quarterback draw, then Culpepper hitting Kelly Campbell on a 29-yarder. And then the last one you just saw, Zach Crockett going in. Vikings from the Raiders 44 with no timeouts remaining. The 2-minute warning coming up.
Here comes the blitz.
Cooper slipped off him, and Culpepper runs out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
That's the one thing that's really picked up for the Raiders is their blitzing late here in the game. You know, they've come after Dante Culpepper because it's been a situation where, for the most part, they've been forced to pass. And when they've been dropping back, Chuck Bresnahan says, hey, we're coming after you. And they've been mixing blitz effectively. They've been mixing into zones. The defense being called by Chuck Bresnahan and the ability the way they're executing the defense out in the field today for the Raiders has been outstanding.
They shut down Randy Moss. He's caught only 4 passes for 25 yards, none in the second half. Culpepper steps up, goes for Moss in the end zone, overthrown. And Charles Woodson all over him, as he has been the entire game.
You know, he has. You know, we haven't really given the dues or the props to Charles Woodson has been deserved. He has held Randy Moss in check all day.
2-minute warning. To shut down Randy Moss, the Raiders have done it, and Charles Woodson has been a main reason why. 3rd and 1 for the Vikings at the 35-yard line. Culpepper being pressured, throws short, and it's dropped by Dwayne Bates, covered by Eric Barton on the play.
You know, Sam, and normally when you play the Minnesota Vikings, if you take away Randy Moss and you hold him to 4 catches for 25 yards and no touchdowns, normally how they rebound from that is they run the heck out of the football. They rely on that big offensive line. They rely on Mo Williams and Michael Bennett. But today, they've only gotten 89 yards rushing.
And they passed 43 times. Culpepper 25 for 43, 380 yards, and 3 interceptions. On 4th down, shovel pass to Mo Williams. He's got the first down.
Napoleon Harris,
A helmet popper.
his own.
Harris gets up with a smile on his face.
They got to go no huddle now.
No timeouts remaining. Clock running, a minute and a half to go. And the Vikings need 2 scores. Culpepper gets time. And that pass is incomplete for Kelly Campbell.
They are letting Charles Woodson and Randy Moss play like old-time football. There has been more contact, more holding, more bumping and chucking and hands and jersey pulling going on between those 2 guys all day, and no flags have come out. I mean, on that play right there, he was all over.
We welcome those of you who just watched the Lions and the Seahawks. Sam Rosenfeld, Chris Myers in Oakland. The Raiders leading 28-18. Time winding down on the Vikings. On 2nd down, Culpepper with time, throws to Jim Kleinsasser. Fights his way, stayed in bounds. Should have gone out of bounds, stayed in bounds, goes down at the 18.
That's not in Kleinsasser's makeup.
Vikings, going out of bounds?
Yeah,
right.
he just keeps, he's just so used to bowling people over, but he's got to conserve time.
Vikings need 2 scores. They are down by 10 and in danger of losing for the 4th time in a row. Everybody out. Culpepper being rushed. Gets away from Rod Colvin. Looks to the end zone. Runs. And he's out of bounds at the 14-yard line. 43 seconds remaining. It's been a mixed bag today for Dante Culpepper. He's got a career record passing yardage. He's carried the ball, rushed for over 40 yards.
When you talk about those passing yards, Sam, this is the first defense. The Oakland Raiders are the first defense to play Minnesota Vikings this year and make them become one-dimensional. They were the most balanced offensive team in football till they met the Raiders defense today.
3 wide receivers. On 2nd down, Moss in motion, and Woodson goes with him. Then he lets Buchanan pick him up. Culpepper looking, throwing short. And I don't know what happened. He may have been hit. Could he have been hit?
I think he was thrown to the umpire. Sam, I'm not kidding you.
The umpire wasn't ready.
Well, he ducked. The umpire had to duck to get out of the way of that.
It'll be 3rd down for the Vikings.
You know, sometimes when you're looking for the white out there, the jerseys, and then you see the black defenders, and then you see the white umpire pants, he had to duck to get out of the way.
Don't forget, the SBC postgame show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Scores and highlights, Fox Sports ticker. It's all coming up at the conclusion of this game. On 3rd down, they pick up the blitz. The throw into the corner for Moss. The jump ball. Woodson came down with it, but it's incomplete. He was out of bounds beyond the end line. But once again, beautiful coverage by Charles Woodson on Randy Moss.
Charles Woodson, I can't say enough about the job he's done. Now, he's had help. He's had help, but there was no help on that play right there. He went up after the ball. He battled for it. He's given up a couple inches to Randy Moss, but he out-muscles it.
Wow.
Great position. He knew the fade route was coming to the corner and played it perfect.
Vikings have to get to the 9-yard line for a first down, but time is the key element here. They need 2 scores. The blitz coming. Culpepper throwing to the end zone, incomplete, and that's it. The Oakland Raiders will win this one. It'll be 4 losses in a row for Mike Tice and the Minnesota Vikings, and their lead in the NFC North is down to 1 game over the Green Bay Packers.
Well, there's a little post route right there, and that ball was just thrown high and hard and excitable, just like Dante Culpepper was forced to play. And when you put the game into his hands, it's not that he's not good enough, but it's not the best situation for the Minnesota offense. They're much better when they can run the ball and pick the times and places where they pass.
Well, they talked about wanting to run the ball, but they never got it going. The Raiders did. Their run game was brilliant. A disappointed Dante Culpepper. For Rick Mirer, it's a win, and his first win since 1999. Rick Mirer as the #1 quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, with Gannon out, with Tuiasosopo out. Yes, he is the reclamation project, and he helped lead the Oakland Raiders to a 28-18 win over the Minnesota Vikings. The Raiders' streak is over. The Vikings continue. We'll be right back.
Do you have the right truck? The 2004 Chevy Silverado now available with power packs. Get the Silverado extended cab with the light duty power pack, Vortec V8 heavy duty trailering, plus the Safe and Sound power pack, XM satellite radio, Bose sound system, and the security of 1-year OnStar Safe and Sound service. Silverado, now available with power packs. It's the right truck.
Bringing space travel to families everywhere. Disney used HP technology to help create Mission Space, a new thrill ride at Epcot. Enter online for a chance to win a trip from HP to ride Mission Space New Year's Eve. HP. Invent.
Mama! The man who did this is pure evil.
You're scaring her. She needs to be scared, and so do you.
I am looking for my granddaughter! Hold your breath right now!
From director Ron Howard. The Missing, rated R, opens everywhere November 26th.
At Miller, we brew great tasting beer because you can get in line and take what they give you, or you can make your own choice. Miller, good call.
Can Hotel Era's Paris Hilton survive living on an Arkansas farm?
What do you guys think? Was that underwear or was that an outfit?
The Simple Life, a new series coming Tuesday, December 2nd to Fox.
Oakland Raiders end a 5-game losing streak. They're 3-7. The Crockett brothers are together. Zach celebrates. Henri is disappointed. UPS delivers a chance to win a big screen TV to watch the big game. Just log on to foxsports.com. UPS, what can Brown do for you? Dante Culpepper, a mixed bag. Passed for a lot of yardage, had 3 interceptions, and he fumbled twice. Now an uncommon play from an uncommon perspective, brought to you by Wachovia. Rick Meyer running, heading for the goal line, up in the air, spun around, came down hard, but it was a good day for him as he helped lead the Raiders to a win. UPS, rather, this uncommon perspective was brought to you by Wachovia. Together, we can achieve uncommon results. That wraps it up in Oakland. The Raider Nation is happy tonight because the Raiders defeat the Minnesota Vikings 28-18. For Bill Moss and Chris Myers, this is Sam Rosen. Now to JB.
It's the SBC postgame show, brought to you by SBC.
And less than 4 minutes of action from around the NFL. The upset of the day involved Kansas City losing to Cincinnati.
You got a JB, watch this. Peter Warrick feels this punt at his own 32-yard line. Busted straight upfield, turns on that speed. Former #1 out of Florida State. 68 yards later. Hello, wake up, Chiefs. 17-6. Bengals. Trent Green back. Gonzalez stands in there. Gunned it over the middle. Gonzalez, 12-yard touchdown. 2-point conversion was missed. 17-12 Bengals. And then Kitna bombs away. Peter Warrick, 77-yard touchdown reception. 114 yards receiving on the day for Warrick. Best in his career. And Rudy Johnson, an outstanding day, exposing the Kansas City Chiefs defensively, not being able to stop the run.
All right, so the Packers snap a 5-game losing skid in Tampa. Tampa has now lost 3 straight. Dante Culpepper, 5 turnovers in the loss to the Raiders today, 28-18. Detroit has lost 21 straight on the road. Seattle, 35-14 there. Tony Dungy becomes the first coach to beat all 32 teams in the NFL. Denver spanks San Diego. Bad game for Flutie. 9 of 25, 70 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Miami breaks a 2-game losing streak on the leg of Orlando Marte. 3 field goals in that one. Tennessee did not need 30 points to win it today. First time in 7 games they didn't score 30. Buffalo loses to Houston. David Carr out with a bruised shoulder. Tony Banks in very nicely so. St. Louis 23-21 the final there. Scoring the final 20 points. Marshall Faulk, first 100-yard rushing game in 11 games. Philadelphia, 5 of the last 6 over the Giants. 5 straight they have also won. Carolina behind ex-Redskins Stephen Davis wins it 20-17. And New Orleans beats Atlanta 23-20. Cleveland all over Arizona 44-6. The Browns snap a 3-game losing streak, cutting Kevin Johnson. A statement move indeed. Let's go for global thoughts from Jimmy.
JB, I love the job that John Fox and his staff have done at Carolina. And, you know, everybody, they were waiting to see if they would collapse. They are not going to collapse. They run the football. They play great defense. They play great special teams. And they've got a huge game coming up next week with the Dallas Cowboys. He's done a great job. They're going to be in the playoffs, and who knows how far they can go.
Yeah, and that's a division. It looked like Carolina maybe had jumped out like they did last year. They had that bit of a dip, as Terry talked about in the pregame last year in the middle of the season, then finished up strong. But they've really come on. Tampa Bay obviously has faded. Green Bay today. Green Bay has gone from a team that liked to throw the ball, and now 46% of their offense is gained by running the football, the 4th highest total in the NFL. And you look at divisions, the NFC North is now a tighter division. Looked like Minnesota was going to run away with the thing. Now they faltered, losing 4 in a row. Green Bay's back in the thick of things. How bad is Brett's thumb? You look at the NFC South. That's the team we talked about, Carolina Panthers.
Well, you know, Carolina, I love the way they're – I believe in the old formula, Jimmy, is that you run. You're seeing Green Bay do it. You run the football and you play good defense. What you do is you rest your defense, you ball control the clock, and then you have a chance to win these football games. And I like the way Carolina's doing it. I love the way Green Bay's doing it. We'll see how Dallas fares tonight.
Donovan McNabb, second 300-yard passing day. And Marvin Lewis, outstanding coaching job in Cincinnati. Hey, folks, we will see you next week on Fox NFL Sunday.
That's Fox Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. The NFL is online at www.nfl.com.
Today, Mad TV's Pigskin Profit guarantees 4 more winners.
He's such a redneck, that Frank. He went back to Hall Summit, Louisiana, his hometown, to help raise money for the high school. But when he got there, he had 2 major problems, Howie.
What's that?
They had canceled driver's ed and sex education.
So what happened?
The mule died.
Hey, Terry, that was a really great joke last week. You even had it memorized. But you got a couple things wrong. First of all, I'm from Wisconsin, which is here. Not Louisa Bradshaw, which is here. I know they look close, but this is just a picture. And secondly, the mule's not dead. Her name's Tess, and she's a sweet ass. Oh, and Terry, ass is another word for mule, you dumb mule. I bet no one could have predicted you'd see an ass in this segment. No one except for maybe Chad Johnson.
In the NFL, upsets are part of the game. But last week, one man not only participated in the upset, he used powers of unprecedented clairvoyance to predict it. Tonight on Nightline, Chad Johnson, Nostradamus of the gridiron. Mr. Johnson, thank you for being here.
No problem. What's going on?
Not much, Chad. Let's start with a simple question. Did you know you're going to be on the program?
Yes.
Amazing!
You invited me last week.
Indeed we did. Now, you've said that you're through guaranteeing victories for your team.
Yeah, this year.
So your team won't win another game this season?
No, we're going to win again.
And I suppose that's not a prediction. Please, Mr. Johnson, you can't help yourself, can you? You're using your powers. You can see into my soul, can't you?
Man, this dude is an idiot.
Chad, as hard as it was on your cousin Keyshawn to be cut, it must have been harder on you, knowing it, what, days, perhaps weeks in advance?
Man, y'all are a trip, man.
That's right, we are tripping. Thanks a lot, Chad.
Now, I got some predictions of my own. This week, I like Minnesota over Detroit, Denver to top Chicago, Kansas City to beat Oakland, and my upset pick is Houston over New England. By the way, the clothes are Jillian's, and the fragrance, well, that's all Terry. Back to you guys.
Good to know that I'm carrying the show once again, helping Frank, who, by the way, Frank is to comedy to what Michael Jackson is to normal Frank. That's not very funny.
Oh.
What? What did I do?
Where did that
Well, now he can use that next week. He'll have that for next week.
That makes no sense.
I know it doesn't. It's not supposed to.
Fragrance and Terry Bradshaw. Hey, busy week in Tampa, and it all started with the Buccaneers' 3rd straight loss.
And it is picked off by the Green Bay Packers' Darren Sharper. The Green Bay Packers get the victory 20-13. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' playoff hopes may have just been dashed today.
Obviously, very disappointed in myself, very disappointed in the team. We got 6 games left to go, and we expect every man to finish this season with authority. But we also are finding out a lot about a lot of players, and we'll continue to evaluate that. And I'm very disappointed, obviously.
I talked to Jerome Stanley and Keyshawn this morning. I told them of our decision to deactivate him in the remaining games. It's been very clear by Key that he viewed this as his last season here. He felt he was going to need to move on. He made that clear to us. Following that, I really believe Keyshawn's actions changed.
I'll just say that for whatever reason, he did not want to be here. This is a move that we had to make today. I think it benefits our football team, the future of our team, future Buccaneers, and hopefully it benefits Keyshawn also.
You can't afford at this point to have a split locker room because of some guy's opinion or some guy's attitude, and you know, they made the necessary decision. Just was clear that he didn't want to be here, you know, and that affects the karma in the locker room. That affects everything, and I think they did what they had to do.
I had no problems with Key, and you know, there's a lot of things that took place, and that's between the organization and Keyshawn.
And Keyshawn joins us here in the studio today. And Keyshawn, as I listen at least to Rondé Barber and certainly John Lynch, I mean, gosh, you seem like you were a major problem. Here you are, a #1 draft pick, 8-year contract with the Bucs, $56 million, $13 million signing bonus, 3-time player, Pro Bowl player. They make you look like you are a major malcontent. What went wrong?
No, I don't think so. When I look at that clip, I don't think that that's the case at all. I think they were simply explaining. And anytime a head coach feels that you're a distraction in the locker room because you're unhappy and you throw off a certain I don't know, a certain vibe about your body language or whatever the case is. For a year and a half, we've been having this issue. It's nothing new to anybody in the locker room. I didn't vent my frustrations to my teammates or anything. I simply walked into my coach's office. Actually, I went to the general manager. I didn't even never speak to the general manager. I just went to the assistant general manager, John Isaac, and explained my frustrations and some of the issues that was going on. Then he asked me to go talk to the head coach. I went down, spoke with the head coach. I never, ever had a one-on-one conversation with Rich McKay about the incident at all.
So when you look back on this situation, do you see yourself at fault at all in any of this?
I do, definitely. I think I could have made a lot of things easier for instance, we're in San Francisco. Instead of getting on the plane and just leaving, I should have went to John. I should have said, you know what, Coach, I'm going to stay with my family. But like as being an ex-coach, when a player comes to a head coach prior to a game to tell him something about after the game, they simply don't want to hear that because they want your focus on the game. So I made that decision to do that at that time.
But Keyshawn, they gave you $13 million up front.
About the money.
I understand. I understand. A $56 million contract. You got a Super Bowl ring with the Tampa Bay Bucs. And they gave up 2 first-round picks for you. How can you not be totally committed to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I think I was totally committed. I think I did everything that was asked of me.
Did you work out in the off-season program?
I worked out in the off-season program. Yes, I did. I didn't work out. I did not. Jimmy,
go ahead. Go ahead.
Coach, I didn't work out the first year under John Gruden. It was asked to me by John Gruden as well as Rich McKay to come back in 2003, give them the whole entire offseason. That's what I did. I did that. So what they did is they restructured my deal because they figured I would be there for the long haul. When that was brought to my attention, I gave them everything in the offseason. I altered my normal schedule. I've been in the league 8 years. I think for at least 6 of the 8 years that I've been in the league, I never, ever been anywhere in the offseason other than California.
And you're not there on the lifting on Monday? And I know it was voluntary, but he expected everybody to be there on Mondays.
I think it's an unwritten rule in the National Football League. When you win games on Mondays and Tuesdays are obviously our off day. On Mondays, you typically don't go in. I'm not a guy that go in and watch.
It wasn't unwritten with my team. I told them either be there on Monday or not be there on Monday.
But see, you're a different football coach. That wasn't the way it was under John Gruden. I don't really care really about the way they put the spin on it because deep down inside, my teammates in the locker room, they all know they can't get into specifics. They can't. They have families to feed and things along that.
But Keyshawn, how can you say that you're totally committed when you go in after a loss? At mid-season, and you tell the head coach, I don't want to play for you, I don't want to be here next year?
You know the reason why I did that, Coach, is because I had so much frustration built up in me. In order for me to get through the rest of the year, I needed to get that out with him one-on-one. I didn't take it to our locker room. I didn't bother. I said, you know what? The best thing for me to do is go in there, talk to him personally, sit down with him, get him to understand where I'm coming from. It wasn't a matter about, well, you're not throwing me the football. It was a matter about dealing with me as a human being and as a man, treating me with respect so that I can treat you with respect so we can move forward in this thing. And then at the end of the day, we can evaluate what the problem is.
So this whole thing is you and Gruden. Well, it's not about yards. It's not about touchdowns. It's not about being the focus of the offense.
Not at all.
And it's all about respect. He didn't respect you, and that's why you're here on this show today. That's why you got deactivated.
If you want to call it that.
Let me ask you a question. A lot's been made in speculation about where you rank with other great receivers in the NFL. Where do you see yourself in the NFL right now?
Depends. It depends on what you're looking for. What type of receiver are you looking for? If you look for a guy to move the chains and contribute to the team, block and do those things, then I'm the guy. If you're looking for a guy to go get home runs, then you should draft or sign Randy Moss.
Can you go somewhere next year, hypothetically, if Tampa does release you and not be the star?
I think I can. I don't have a problem. I've never had a problem. I shared the load under Bill Parcells with Wayne Corbett. I shared the load last year.
But you didn't like Wayne Corbett. You made that.
No. That was 1996 as a rookie, Terry. That was 1996 as a rookie that I wrote in the book. I never had a personal problem with Wayne. My book simply was talking about what we did as a football team to go 1-15.
But see, as a coach, I'm looking out there, and I'm in the league, and I see this. They're paying him $170,000 a week not to be part of our team. How does that make you feel?
I didn't ask that for 2003. I talked about 2004. I shouldn't be here with you today. Do you think I want to sit here with you guys and be talking about football?
Key, last question. If there's anything you could have done differently, what would you have done in this situation for it not to have happened?
I don't know, just think some things, like I said, I probably would have said something to him if the San Francisco 49er problem was a problem. Maybe I would have went to him and said something different, or maybe I should have went to him earlier because, like I said before, it's not all Keyshawn Johnson's fault, and believe me, it's not all John Gruden's fault either, but both parties have something to do with it.
Aren't you embarrassed? If I were you, I'd be embarrassed to know that the caliber of receivers.
I don't know if I'm embarrassed.
I would be.
I'm upset, but I don't know if I'm embarrassed because I know both sides of the coin. It's deeper than Keyshawn Johnson and John Gruden in that organization, too. Trust me on that one.
That's what we're hitting with McKay and McKay possibly.
All right,
leaving.
folks, and perhaps we'll get a chance to deal with this a bit more as Keyshawn perhaps will be with us throughout the season. All right, folks, from one Pro Bowl player to another, Terry, you talk with your good friend, Brett Favre.
Well, as you all know, I have to travel quite a bit since I'm the only single guy here, and it's only 2 cities in the NFL you can't fly nonstop to from Dallas, and that's Buffalo, New York.